Within every person burns a flame, one that never truly goes out, though it may dim amid the chaos of life. Perhaps you're living in a busy American city, rushing each morning to work, returning each evening exhausted, and feeling a quiet emptiness inside. You once dreamed of many things, once believed you could do anything, but now it feels as though you're just trying to survive. The world has made you believe that happiness lies in success, in numbers, in recognition. But the Stoics believe the opposite. True strength doesn't come from the outside. It comes from how you see the world and how you see yourself. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't just a quote to hang on a wall. It's a wake-up call. Because in reality, you cannot control the weather, what others say, or what life throws your way. But you can always control your reactions, your attitude, and your actions. And that is what defines you. This video is not about empty slogans, but about a journey inward, to see life through the eyes of stillness. You will learn to let go of what cannot be held, to focus on what can be changed, and to realize that peace is not found in perfection, but in the ability to accept and stand firm amid imperfection. If you're feeling lost, directionless, or simply longing for a calmer life, stay. Because sometimes all it takes is changing the way you see life, and your whole life begins to change. The world doesn't become easier, but you become stronger. Strong enough to face it, rise above it, and smile. Lesson 1. The truth about control. Imagine standing before a massive wave. You can't command it to stop, nor can you force it to move in the direction you want. But you can learn to ride it, to keep your balance, to feel the rhythm of the water, and to let your body move with the natural flow of the sea. Life works the same way. You can't control everything that happens, but you can control how you respond. The Stoics called this the boundary of freedom, knowing what is within your control and letting go of what is not. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is within your power, act. If not, accept it as part of nature." Most of our worries and stress in life come from trying to change things beyond our reach. The weather, what others say, work outcomes, or how people perceive us. But when we pause and focus only on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and attitude, we begin to rediscover true peace. The Stoics were not indifferent, they were proactive. They still gave their best effort, but they didn't place their happiness in the outcome. Because they understood that true strength doesn't lie in conquering the world, but in mastering their own reactions. When you realize you can't control the wind, you learn to adjust your sails. And in that moment, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You become the navigator, calmly moving forward no matter how rough the seas may be. Lesson 2. Remember the evidence of your inner strength. We often chase motivation as if it were the only fuel that keeps us moving forward. But motivation is like a passing breeze. It comes and goes. True strength doesn't come from moments of excitement, it lives in memory. The memory of times when you endured, when everything seemed to fall apart, but you kept going. The Stoics understood that we don't need more inspiration. We just need to remember the proof that we've already been strong before. Think back to the hardest moments in your life. Losing a job, heartbreak, illness, or those lonely days that felt unbearable. At the time, you might have thought you couldn't go on, but you did. You still got up, endured, and did what needed to be done. There was no audience, no applause, only you and your will. It was in those quiet moments that you proved your true strength. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every hardship you faced was not a failure, but proof that you became more resilient, more steadfast, and more wise. Yet over time, we forget those small victories, and in forgetting them, we begin to doubt ourselves. Create a small habit for yourself. Each night, write down one thing you overcame that day. It could be as simple as not skipping your morning exercise, staying calm instead of getting angry, or choosing to listen instead of arguing. Those small notes will become your record of strength, proof that you are not just surviving, but growing stronger every single day. When you learn to remember, you no longer need to pretend to be confident, because you already have real evidence that no matter how challenging life gets, you've always had the ability to rise, move forward, and become stronger each time. Lesson 3, the censoring mindset, becoming the gatekeeper of your thoughts. Life rarely breaks us because of what actually happens, but because of how we think about it. A careless comment, a small failure, or even a glance from someone can send our minds spiraling into endless interpretations. The Stoics called this the double suffering, once from reality itself and once from the story we tell ourselves about it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your perception of it, and you have the power to revoke that perception." The human mind is like a house with its doors open all day. If no one is guarding it, anything can walk in. Worry, comparison, fear, or criticism. Being the gatekeeper of your mind means choosing what is allowed to stay. Each time a thought appears, pause and ask yourself, does this make me stronger, or does it weaken me? By asking that question, you take back control. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." Between stimulus and response, there is always a pause, and within that pause lies freedom. When you realize you can choose how to respond, you stop being a victim of your emotions and become their master. Practice observing your thoughts as if you were standing by a riverbank, watching the water flow by instead of being carried away by it. When a negative thought appears, don't argue with it. Simply notice that it's there and let it drift away. As you master this skill, your mind becomes clearer and calmer. And that is true strength, not conquering the outer world, but mastering the inner one. Lesson 4. Readiness comes from action. Action, readiness. We often say, "I'll start when I'm ready." But the truth is, you will never be completely ready. There is no perfect moment, no ideal timing, and no one coming to hand you a ticket to begin. Readiness is not the starting point, it's the result. You don't wait to act, you act to become ready. The Stoics understood that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act even when fear is present. Aristotle once said, "We learn by doing, not by waiting." You can't learn to swim by reading about it, just as you can't learn to live by endlessly thinking about life. You have to step into the water, allow yourself to be clumsy, to stumble, and through that, you become stronger. Action is life's most practical classroom. If you keep waiting until you're confident enough, experienced enough, or perfect enough, you might be waiting your whole life, because that feeling of enough will never truly arrive. The truth is, action comes first, confidence follows. Every step you take, no matter how small, is proof that you are moving toward what you desire. And when you act, fear begins to fade, because your mind realizes that you are capable. Choose one thing you've been postponing, a goal, a phone call, a small change, and do it within the next 72 hours. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real. Even the smallest action is more powerful than a flawless plan that never begins. Seneca once wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, it is because we do not dare that they are difficult." And when you dare to act, you'll realize that readiness isn't a feeling. It's a habit built through your own actions. Lesson 5. Fear is a compass. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of the things that worry you never actually happen, yet the mind has the power to magnify them tenfold. Fear makes you hesitate, delay, and sometimes convince yourself that it's not the right time. But if you look deeper, you'll see that fear is not your enemy. It is the compass pointing you toward growth. Think about what you fear most right now. It might be starting a new project, changing jobs, or speaking your truth. The quickened heartbeat, the sweaty palms, the flood of doubts. These aren't signs of weakness, but signals that you're standing at the doorway of growth. Fear often shows up in the very places that matter most, where your potential is waiting to be unlocked. Carl Jung once said, "Where your fear is, there lies your task." The Stoics understood that to find freedom, we must walk straight through what makes us uneasy. So they didn't avoid fear, they conversed with it. They asked, what exactly am I afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? And if it did happen, could I handle it? 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. When you name your fear, you take back control. Remember, the greatest fear is not loss. It's being seen as your truest self. But it's there that you'll find your strength. Every time you move through fear, you expand your boundaries. Every time you do what makes you tremble, you are training your courage. So don't wait for the day when fear disappears. That day will never come. Instead, learn to walk with fear as a companion, so that whenever it appears, you can smile and say, good. This means I'm alive, and I'm moving closer to the person I truly want to become. Lesson 6, focus on the process, let go of the outcome. Process and outcome. We live in an age where everything is measured by results, money, fame, views, followers. But the Stoics saw things differently. They believed that a person's true worth lies not in the success they achieve, but in how they act along the way. Because outcomes depend on countless factors beyond your control, while the process belongs entirely to you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not expect events to happen as you wish, but wish to act rightly in every circumstance." When you focus only on the outcome, you live in anxiety and disappointment. You become a slave to expectations. If you succeed, you're happy. If you fail, you fall apart. But when you center your mind on the process, everything feels lighter. You begin to find joy in the act itself, not in the reward. Focusing on the process helps you compare less, fear mistakes less, and live more fully in each moment. The Stoics were not indifferent to success. They simply refused to let it control their emotions. They still set goals, but instead of asking, "Will I achieve this?" they asked, "Am I acting in alignment with my values?" Because right action is always within your control, while the outcome is not. Epictetus once said, "Do what you must and let the rest unfold as it will." Try a small nightly ritual. Sit down and ask yourself, did I do my best today? Did I live according to what I believe in? If the answer is yes, then you've already won, even if the external results haven't arrived yet. When you learn to stay focused on the process and let go of the outcome, life becomes freer and more peaceful. Because at that point, you no longer need to win to feel enough. You are enough simply by moving in the right direction. Lesson 7. Discipline is freedom. Discipline, freedom. Many people think discipline is restriction, a loss of freedom. But the Stoics believe the opposite. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. A person without discipline may do whatever they want, but they are always led by their emotions. They act when they feel like it and quit when they don't. They think they are free, but in truth, they are imprisoned by their own lack of control. In contrast, the disciplined person doesn't always do what they enjoy, but they always do what is necessary. And that deliberate choice brings true freedom. Freedom from laziness, from procrastination, and from regret. Epictetus once said, "No one is free unless they are master of themselves." Discipline is the tool that allows you to achieve that. It is not harshness, it is self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build inner trust, the kind that keeps you steady amid chaos. Discipline transforms you from someone who depends on inspiration into someone who creates their own motivation. And that is the most enduring form of strength. Discipline isn't about grand actions. It's about small things done consistently every day. Waking up on time, exercising, reading a few pages, staying silent instead of losing your temper. These habits may seem ordinary, but they are what shape who you are. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Think of discipline as the frame that gives your life its shape. Without a frame, freedom easily turns into chaos. A disciplined day brings clarity and calm, the deepest kind of freedom a person can have. Because when you master yourself, you no longer have to chase peace. Peace will find you. Lesson 8, comparison. Detox. We live in an age where comparison has become an unconscious habit. Just open social media and you'll see the perfect lives of others. Someone buying a new house, another traveling the world, or an old friend looking happier than you think you deserve to be. And without anyone forcing you, your mind begins to turn against itself. You start to feel slower, lesser, or even invisible. But the Stoics understood that comparison is a form of mental poison. It steals your joy, your gratitude, and your life energy. Epictetus once taught, if you want peace, stop comparing your life to others, for each person is born for their own path. Every life is a journey with its own rhythm, lessons, and pace. Comparison only leads you astray. It's like using someone else's map to find your own way. You can't know what they've sacrificed to have what you admire, just as they can't see the storms you've weathered to stand where you are. The Stoics chose to focus on the only thing they could control, themselves. Instead of asking, why haven't I achieved what others have? They asked, am I better than the person I was yesterday? That is the only measure that leads to true growth. Try a simple comparison detox exercise. Whenever you feel envy or insecurity, pause and write down 3 things you're grateful for right now. This won't make someone else's life any less good, but it will remind you that your own life has value too. When you stop looking sideways and start looking inward, you'll see that peace has never been about being as good as others. It's about whether you're living true to who you are. Lesson 9, the identity loop. We are not defined by what we say we'll do, but by what we repeatedly do. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you are becoming. When you choose patience over anger, when you keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching, when you keep trying even without applause, all of these quietly shape who you are. The Stoics believe that identity is not something we are born with, but something forged through our actions over time. Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. But it's not only thoughts, habits stain even deeper. Whatever you repeat each day reinforces the belief, this is who I am. If you constantly procrastinate, you start to believe you're undisciplined. If you choose to act, you start to believe you're capable. The mind will always seek to live in alignment with the image it believes is true, and that is the identity loop. To change yourself, you don't need a dramatic beginning. You just need one new action, repeated long enough. Start by setting a simple affirmation. I am someone who does what I say I will do. Then each day, prove it with one small action. The more often you keep your word, the deeper that belief takes root. And when belief changes, actions follow. The Stoics did not seek sudden change. They sought lasting transformation. They understood that true strength doesn't come from fleeting inspiration, but from repeated discipline. So whenever you want to become a better version of yourself, don't ask, what should I believe? Ask, what can I do today to prove it? Because identity is not created in thought. It is carved into being through action. Lesson 10, the compound interest of small steps, tiny steps, big compounding. The Stoics didn't believe in overnight transformations. They believed in the power of small, consistent actions. Like compound interest in investing, every positive step you take today, no matter how small or invisible it seems, adds up over time to create extraordinary results. The problem is that most people aren't patient enough to stick with the small things. They want rapid change, instant results, and when they don't see them, they give up. But true progress is rarely loud. It happens quietly. In the moments when you keep showing up day after day, even when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do nothing in haste. All great things come from perseverance through small steps." Every time you choose to take a walk instead of lying down, read a few pages instead of scrolling your phone, or listen instead of reacting, you are investing in yourself. One day those small actions will add up and form a stronger, calmer, and wiser version of you, like a statue slowly carved from raw stone. The power of small steps doesn't lie in their size, but in their consistency. A right action repeated 100 times creates far greater results than one big action done once. The Stoics understood that what matters is not speed, but direction. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are on the right path. Choose 3 small actions each day. 1 for your body, 1 for your mind, and 1 for your spirit. Keep them not for a week, but for a lifetime. Because great change doesn't come from one extraordinary day, but from hundreds of ordinary days lived with awareness. And one day when you look back, you'll realize that the tiny steps you once thought were insignificant have quietly transformed your entire life. Lesson 11. Your environment shapes you, people and places. No one stays strong for long in a weak environment. No matter how disciplined, determined, or wise you are still shaped by the people you meet, the places you live, and the energy you absorb each day. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that environment doesn't just influence the mind, it molds it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." But he also knew that what we think most often largely comes from what we hear and see every day. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, you'll gradually start to see the world through a negative lens. But if you spend time with those who are responsible, calm, and self-disciplined, your mind will naturally move in that direction. Humans are emotional contagions. Science calls this the mirror neuron effect. You don't just imitate others' actions, you also absorb their ways of thinking and reacting to life. Take a look at the circle around you. Who makes you feel calmer after every conversation, and who leaves you drained? Who encourages your discipline, and who pulls you back into old habits? Don't judge who's right or wrong. Just be honest that not everyone deserves access to your energy. The Stoics did not hate anyone, but they knew how to set boundaries. Because protecting your mind is just as important as protecting your body. And it's not just people. The spaces you live in also shape your mind. A cluttered room breeds confusion, while an organized space invites clarity. Make your environment one that nourishes you, not one that drains your energy. Every time you choose to stay close to what makes you better, you are reshaping your life. One relationship, one room, one breath at a time. By the end of this journey, you'll realize that changing how you see life isn't about changing the world around you. It's about changing the lens within. Life doesn't become easier, but you become steadier. The storms don't disappear, but you learn how to ride the waves. And that is the essence of Stoicism. Not escaping or complaining, but learning to live with calmness, clarity, and intention. You don't need to become someone else to start living better. You only need to return to yourself, to the part of you that has been strong, that has faced fear, that has chosen to rise even when no one was watching. The Stoics taught that happiness does not come from controlling the world, but from controlling our reaction to it. And when you can do that, you become free. Not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer enslaved by it. From today, live by 3 guiding words: calm, clarity, consistency. When angry, stay calm. When confused, seek clarity. When tired, remain consistent. These qualities will serve as your compass through every stage of life, because true strength is not found in the loudest voice, but in the quietest mind. If this video resonates with you, leave a comment saying, "I choose calm," as a personal commitment to yourself. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next Stoic lessons, where we'll continue learning how to live deeper, lighter, and stronger from within.